I went out to a meeting with a CEO, and we had only communicated over the phone and over email. And, I'm, waiting in his office. I do all of the normal business development things, and I'm super polished, super profesh. Like, this is my job. Like, I close deals. I go in, I get business. Like, that's the role. And the receptionist brings me back to the CEO's office, and the first thing he says when he sees me is, "You don't sound black on the phone at all." And I am immediately taken aback, and I'm so grateful in that moment for, I think, just practice and having years at that point of experience in the corporate workplace and navigating kind of curious situations, because I knew I had two choices. I can let this person pull me off my game, pull me out of my integrity, and like kind of spiral out, or I can take control of the situation and respond in a way that this person does not expect. So I went ahead and conducted the meeting, and I delivered my sales presentation exactly the way that he, would have, I think probably not expected me to, but exactly the way that I would have if it were a normal client experience. Like, I had, again, years and years of experience in sales and client meetings, delivering presentations, things like that. And so despite the shock and, kind of, "You've got to be kidding me" moment, like, you've got to be kidding me that I'm like navigating under the surface, I continue, to just kind of move forward. But I did make a decision. It did not matter what this man said. I was not helping him. My company was not helping him. We were not going to sign him as a client. Like, that was my power move, because I was like, I know we have a service his company needs. I know that he wants to do business with us. This meeting feels a lot like a formality. But I knew I was going to turn him down, and that's exactly what I did. I wrapped up the meeting, and I said, he was ready to do business with us, and I said, "Well, thank you so much for the time. Unfortunately, it's clear that our values don't align." And he was very taken aback. Like, who are you to tell me no? Aaron, I see you. I see you.
Okay, so I'm a big story person. Like, this is,
Yes.
obviously the way we do things over here. So I love a story. Like, now I just need you to roll back a minute and set the tone. Okay, so you walk in, you see the receptionist. The receptionist calls you back. Like, did he have, you go back to meet with the man. Did he come out and greet you? Did he have a look of shock on his face? I mean, he said what he was thinking. But I'm just trying to get like an idea of the scene.
Yes, so I walk back to his office. She leads me back, and he opens the door. And as he's opening the door, there's a clear look of shock on his face. Like, and I'm thinking, you didn't check LinkedIn? Because, I mean, this is, let's see, this is probably I'm thinking this is 2019. This is 2019. So you didn't, I mean, we all look one another up on LinkedIn. Like, this is just what you do. And of course, me being in B2B sales, I've also checked your website. I know who you are. And I would expect, usually the people that I'm meeting with to have done the same. So yeah, there was a clear look of shock and surprise on his face. And it's interesting too, because he didn't even seem as though it was a statement he had to recover from, which tells me he likely was used to just saying kind of flippant, off-the-hand comments with little consequence.
How old was this? Is a white man, I'm assuming, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And about how old?
I'm going to venture to say he was probably mid-50s, based on appearance, grays, age, it's... I have a thought. I'm going to hold it, but I'm going to gauge probably mid-50s.
Okay. So you did the ultimate power move. We love that, because so often Black women were confronted with just foolishness all the way around, and there really is no move for us to make. We don't have the power to make these moves to shut it down. So I want to ask you about his response to that, and then your company's response and backing you up with that. Was it taken any further? So tell us, what did he say when you said this? Did he ask, what do you mean? Did he?
Absolutely.
Anything?
He was like, well, what do you mean? I mean, you initially asked for this meeting, which was true. I thought this was going to be a great organization that we could sell something to, like sell my product to. I like to make money. That is the job. In this role, I sold over $1 million in consulting services. So like I wanted to make the sale. But having that meeting with him, it was very clear that he wasn't a good fit. And here's what I'll say about that. One of the reasons I felt empowered to tell him, no, this isn't a good fit. And I admittedly, he didn't have a full-on meltdown. There was no yelling. There was no, it was just a disgust almost of I'm not getting what I want. And I showed myself out. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to show myself out.
So when he said, why not, or why? What did you say, exactly? Other than, did you tell him it was because of that inappropriate remark you made? Did you say that?
I didn't have to. I think he knew. And so when I said, I don't think our values align, we held eye contact. And he said, eyes were wide, okay. And at that moment, I said, wow, with a smile and a slight tilt of the head, I'm going to show myself out. I fully expected that he was going to call my office and try to escalate this up and speak to my superiors and whatnot. I did not care. But here's why. Number one, I was very clear on the value I personally brought to my company. I know how much money I make you. I'm paid well, but I'm paid well because I do a great job. And because I'm fully aware of the contribution I make to this team, this division, this organization, I'm really rock solid on that. I do great work. Number two, we had a company policy around no discrimination, no racism, we used to keep actually placards up in the office that said, we will decline to do business with people, who request based on race, age, any specific demographic. We will absolutely decline it. So that was actually a part of our company ethos. And so that was also another layer of protection around just saying, I feel comfortable turning this down. So those two things kind of went hand in hand. And finally, at that point in my career, I had been wrongfully terminated before, years and years prior in a previous job. And I was like, if I get fired over this, this is not the place for me. I've got savings. I have a good reputation. I know I could do good work. I can land on my feet somewhere else. But what I'm not going to do is stay in an environment where I am treated poorly. I'm not going to require that sacrifice of myself, because I had done it, years before, where I had been in an organization and was treated very, very poorly, allowed the environment to become very hostile. And I just was like, no, I'm not doing it.